morning, JawnCon. Oh, that's wonderful. I didn't have to make this greeting a threat. Welcome to Arcadia University, everyone. Welcome to JawnCon, the second one. We are officially sold out as of last night. So that is weird to feel. So here we go. John, what the hell is a John? It's a universal noun, verb, adjective, whatever you want it to be. And that's kind of the overall focus and theme of the conference. It is whatever we want it to be. Because we all are creative animals. We can all think about these things in wonderful, fun ways. And we have a really great community for the students who are going to start showing up probably for Heidi's keynote. So we have some time before that kicks off. But that's generally the theme of this event, why we went with John. If anyone's been to my house and seen my basement, it's disorganized chaos. It's a little bit of everything. It's a John, same sort of thing. It's all come up here. And that's that. So, Philly joke. Who has not been to Philly before? All right, so in Philly, the phrase, welcome to Philadelphia, is actually both a greeting and a threat. And there are a lot of different things about the Philadelphian ethos that I've come to grow and love, but one of these is this whole general monologue that's captioned in this one comic, where there are these words like John or I have this argument with my wife all the time. How do you spell the word water? No, it's not double O, it's W-A. So there are various, it's not accents or things along those lines that make this particular area unique. It's just Philly stuff. So for instance, in your bags, you would have found a D-cell plushie battery. One of the things that I learned about Philadelphia when I moved up here is that if you drove poorly on the 95 corridor, there was more than likely a chance that someone was going to throw a battery at you. I did not believe that this was a thing until I rode in the car with someone and they kept batteries in their cup holder. So ShmooCon has the shmoo ball, we have batteries. So have fun with that one. What are we doing here as far as things that are going on? And I'm going to read the deck to you. So we have a couple of sponsors that we want to say thank you to for being able to give us that little bit of a boost that we needed to get over the edge. Run Zero, HD Moore should be here eminently. And then we have Unveiled Security. Clay Wells is on his way from the last message I got. Hack 5 gave us a whole bunch of prizes for the CTF announcements tomorrow. Alrighty, so upstairs is the chill out space in the chill out room. You will find a variety of things to just hook into your brain and capture your attention. If you get bored with it, good news. ADHD is both a weapon of choice here. So you can just change your chair around and then work on something else rather quickly and easily. The swear jar is back. It is upstairs in the chill out area. This does not support my college fund for my kids. And Bruce, you've gotten a hall pass. So anyways, we also would like to thank SEPTA again for lending us the bus sign, which SEPTA, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, we had a little bit of a fun kerfuffle earlier this year with bus signage. They gave us one, and it was a big one. And it was RGB colored, and we're like, oh, cool, they have another bus sign they want us to hack on or work with. And I get it home, and I got a message saying, rather urgently, can you return that one? That was not the one we meant to give you. So went back and got this old clunker back, and it is back and alive, and hopefully that's what I need my laptop for in order to restart the message board. But anyways, the sign for speakers is going to have your name, it's going to have your talk, and possibly some words of encouragement from the crowd, so be prepared for that. You don't get to see it, they do. The music, we have Dot or Not doing DJ stuff for us. He's provided a lot of music. You can listen to it via web browser, silently on your own, in the Discord server. His video will be there of him doing the DJ stuffs. He's going to be doing it live today during lunchtime. Everything else will be recorded. And then tomorrow, I believe we have DJ Jackalope, who's going to be able to help us out and add some more little bit of subtle energy for everyone. Talks. Thank you, Heidi, for throwing yourself into the fire for being our keynote this year. And other than that, we've got, this was a crazy year of going through the CFP process because we had more submissions than we had slots for, so we are grateful for that. Thank you all for all the speakers who put the time in and energy to be able to make it here. And something else I kind of want everyone to think about. So in the Discord server, there's the Suggest John channel. If you come up with an idea or something for next year, please drop it in there. One of the things that we are thinking about is how we're going to grow for next year. And in the world of information security, they have the whole concept of the three things: make it cheap, fast, and secure. Pick two. In this particular case, our three choices are: we can scale by a day, or scale in headcount, or scale in space. Pick two. And if you have a choice between that as you go through this particular experience, please let anyone in one of the red shirts whose staff know, or just go into the Suggest John channel in Discord and drop it there. If we do expand by space, we will have 2 tracks and then be able to accommodate more amazing speakers that we, it was hard to get through that list and whittle down to the amazing folks that we have here today for this like smorgasbord of discussion. Okie dokie, the badge. The background of the badge was Dragorn and I decided that we were going to do an electronic badge this year, December of last year, and we started going through our, like, what do we want to do type of discussion. And the first strategy that came to mind was that we've built a lot of things and we have parts bins. We have bins of crap that have been left over the decades of building things. And one of the things that was in plethora, not of pinatas, but was LEDs. We had tons and tons of LEDs. So we started thinking about, like, what uses a ton of LEDs in a non-offensive way? And then we started working down into having a discussion about, let's build a modem. So your badge is a functional modem. It has a USB cable that came in your lunch bag and a port. Plug it in. It'll show up as a serial TTY device. It should not show up as anything else. If it does, I did not put that in the firmware. But what you'll be able to do is issue your standard AT commands. There's a help prompt, AT ? And it'll go through all the various commands that are available to you there. Secondarily to that, your badge is also a PPP dial-up modem. So you can take your laptop or your computer, and what you're actually going to do is PPP to the badge itself. It has the instructions, it'll tell you what to do and the command line arguments to run. And then your badge is going to be the thing that gets you on the internet, and you will be able to experience what the modern internet looks like at, I don't know if you're a sadist, but if you feel like doing something terrible to yourself, like stubbing your toe, 2400 baud, those are choices you can make. But the badge also is going to be your entryway to a handful of CTF events and other components inside the event. Yeah, feel free to have fun with it, explore it. On the bottom of the badge is a sticker. There's a QR code. If you scan it, it'll take you to the website that has the overall write-up and instructions about the badge. Otherwise, you can go to the main event page of ox1.jawncon.org, and there's links in there, and one of the links is /modem, which is the manual for the badge. So, the other last thing that we wanted to make sure of is that these badges were useful after the conference. So the infrastructure that is running here is all virtualized. It'll stay on after the conference, but the headers, we're going to add a new write-up. Mike and I were talking about this a little bit ago, where we can rip off the back of the badge and add an extension header to it, so you can add an actual DB29 RS-232 port to it, so that you can plug in retro computing equipment into it natively at that point and just dial into stuff that way. That is a capability and a feature. We have brain bugs that got us thinking that way. So anyways, that is the badge. Hopefully it is not offensive weight or other characteristics as it's around your necks. If you have something wrong, physically go wrong with it, we have extra shells and faceplates and things like that upstairs. See Dragorn or myself, or reach out to anyone in a red staff shirt and we'll get you fixed. Alrighty, the CTFs. We have 3 main events for your entertainment. The one for the conference itself, there's CTFD is going to be the system that we're going to use to manage the scoring of the points and all that stuff. It's going to be on ox1.JawnCon0x1.org. All the instructions are going to be there. We got to enter our flags in a little bit, but the CTF is going to introduce you to a handful of different technologies from the late 90s and early 2000s. It's going to tickle those parts of your brain that make you go, oh yeah, I should have taken my ibuprofen this morning too. For the younger folks in the room, this is going to be hopefully a new experience for you. These are some of the technologies that were foundational to a lot of the other folks that are here in the room. And this is by design and intent because you're going to need to learn how to wrench on cars again. Ha ha ha. The other event is a spectator sport. We're going to run 6 iterations of it. It'll be up in the chill out area. It is the Curmudgeon Challenge. We had a handful of folks sign up as being curmudgeons. The rules for this particular event is it's a 5-person team. You must have at least 1 curmudgeon and 1 student on the team. Whomever else you have on it is your particular choice. The points don't matter, and all you get is a firm set of bragging rights if you win it. But the idea, curmudgeons, I see a few of you in the room. If you can come up to the stage and just shout into the microphone angrily, I guess, for a moment. We had some volunteers of folks tickle the areas in the back of their heads to be able to help us out in coming up with some of the things that we remember as being frustrating when we were young. What angered you the most about this challenge?
It uses computers.
What pissed you off the most about this challenge?
Networking.
Alrighty, so for, thank you guys. These 2 fellows and there's another set of folks that are upstairs right now still polishing a few things up on it, but it's what you're going to do is, it's a typical IT 101 story. The angry IT curmudgeon rage quit and left things in a disarray in the middle of a systems upgrade. You have 1 board to take the 1 hour to make the Nagios status board go from red to green. And bonus and style points are awarded for upgrading the various systems and services into a modern Proxmox system. The infrastructure that is there is stuff from the late 90s and early 2000s, like an old Intersys switch that's only 10100. The Cisco infrastructure, your internet connections, low, medium, high. You'll have to configure either a T3, a T1, or ADSL. And the choice is yours. Again, how much do you hate yourself? And also, it is a spectator sport. You can shout at people, you can cheer them on, you can yell at them as well. Oh, and then there's the ticket support system. Yes, the last part. We expect you to learn some things from this. The curmudgeons have access to a trouble ticket system. The link for it is also on the Curmudgeon website, but as a participant in it, if you get stuck, you can file a ticket. And the curmudgeons will actually be helpful and responsible, like here's the command that you need to run, here's the thing to nudge you along, because this is supposed to be a learning experience that might be a little painful along the ways. Am I missing anything else, fellas?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, oh yeah, the sign up as to how to do it. There will be a sign up sheet with time blocks, put your team name on it, and then be there when we go there. We were going to have pagers and issue pagers. A recent popular event occurred that made that no longer an attractive decision. So we will not be issuing pagers this time. The last one, since one of the WAN technologies that was up there was the DSLAM, and I was only going to use one out of the 24 ports out of it. Anyone remember how the DSL technology evolved over time? It used to be like, oh, you had to be within 1,000 feet or something like that from the CO or CLEC. And then as it got better, you started having newer DSL technologies like ADSL show up, HDSL, IDSL. Well, we're introducing ADHDSL. And what ADHD DSL is another just for bragging rights competition. ADSL was one of the interesting technologies because it was so the copper infrastructure in the United States was terrible, still is terrible. And ADSL was the band-aid of a protocol that was supposed to mitigate a bunch of that by having like terribly noisy pairs be able to still get a signal across. And there was a paper that was produced, what was it, early 2000s, mid 2000s, where a group of folks were able to get a ADSL signal to sync and do data transfer over wet twine. So for the ADHDSL challenge, whoever has the fastest connection, the longest in length connection over the weirdest material, we're going to, at closing ceremonies, have these things documented, but we clap the loudest and whoever wins that, again, bragging rights. And that is the 3 events. Alrighty, generally the chill out area, we're trying to keep the noise levels at a reasonable headspace sort of thing. We won't be doing the womp womps this year. The teletype is not going to make it here this year. It had a noise complaint last year. But little do they know, I brought a dot matrix. So that's up there. We have the CTFs and puzzles. Oh, resume reviews. There is a Discord channel for resume reviews. We will have a few time slots scheduled and announced. But if you are a student or a professional and want someone to look at it or have suggestions about careers and advice, there are people that are there that are going to be willing to do that. Some of the folks who are willing and able to do that are some of these federal agencies that are doing recruitment here. Can I call out the Bureau in the room real quick? All right, thank you for volunteering your hands. I didn't know if anyone else wanted to raise their hands because I am Spartacus too. So we have 2 folks from the FBI and a few more showing up as well doing recruitment. If you are ever interested in cyber careers or anything else along those lines, they are here to talk to you and talk through that entire process. The Air National Guard is on their way. They do some really cool stuff in cyberspace as well. People don't really think about it. We also have some folks from the NSA and NCIS that are wandering around as well. The NSA formally declined participating as a booth vendor because the university is not necessarily a center of excellence. But not with that attitude. We're going to see if we can fix that. But the employees from there are here and are willing to talk to you as well about those particular career choices and decisions. And for the students in the room, you may also notice that there weren't a lot of companies on this list, right? Well, there was a sad story about that. There were companies that we approached and they all said, we're not hiring, or we're in a hiring freeze, or anything. Recruitment budgets have been cut and things along those lines. You know who isn't cutting their jobs? The government. So if you are interested in a stable and fulfilling career track, that's kind of where we're going with that. It's probably going to be one of the last sets of jobs replaced by AI. Alrighty, on Saturday, we have a classroom in the building just across the way. I will be making various announcements. I just got the classroom number this morning, and I forget what it is. Phil, do you remember what it is, or David? In the back, do you remember which classroom number we're in?
202 in the building behind.
Oh, cool, 202, like the HTTP code. And building behind us. All right, we'll put up signs tomorrow. So ham radio stuff. Are the 2 fellows from the ham radio, there you are. All right, can you all stand up real quick and put your hands up? These are our proctor, examiner, marshals of service here. Oh, and yep, David's in the back. All right, so these folks are tomorrow morning are going to do a class for anyone who is not a technician to be able to then subsequently get their technicians. Similarly, they have also volunteered that if you just want to take the test like now and be done with it, you can throw a chat out in the Discord room and they will pull you off to the side and do a private examination for the exam. And things along those lines. So they are being very, very flexible with us about being able to get as many folks through the gauntlet of ham radio certification and accreditation. Let's see here, house rules. We are guests of this university. They are gracious and supportive of us. They absolutely loved the event last year, and they were overly accommodating for us this year. Like this year, they gave us full access to their copper and fiber plant, so we can run our own infrastructure and not have to be dependent on theirs. Like that, and at no like barriers or anything else along those lines. So it's absolutely remarkably amazing as to how far that they've gotten to help us. They are also providing some physical security for us this year. If you see any of the university public safety folks wandering around, or if they ask anything, please cooperate and work with them. If there is a particular event or emergency, pay attention to where the exits are and listen to the instructions from the staff as to where to go, and we'll be all hunky-dory peachy keen. The code of conduct is on the website. Pretty much, don't be a jerk. It's easy. Don't be a bad person. Don't make me get Heidi to talk to you. You do not want that disappointment and look of disapproval. That's them's lasers. Be mindful of the other students. We have the upstairs area just outside the rooms, but not all the way down the hallway. Some students are going to be passing through. They are going to be curious. Be supportive of them as well, please. And ultimately, like if in doubt, just don't do it like the banana says. Be kind, be helpful, and all that sort of stuff. So I get a moment to yell at y'all before we have the wonderful Heidi come up on stage. And one of the things that is the inspiration about JawnCon, and one of the things that I try to focus on about the older technology coming into for a younger generation to understand, is formulated essentially by this quote that Beth, my wife, who just stand up. There you go. Oh, wait, there's a laser pointer on this. No, I won't do that to you. But once upon a time, a whole bunch of us thought that the internet was going to change the world for better. And it seemed to be that it was on that trajectory for quite some time. And then something terrible happened. And my personal opinion is that it was ad tech. The minute that the internet became an idea of like being able to not just like monetization is not the fundamental issue. It's monetization at scale and en masse and at all cost. Whatever it takes to squeeze blood money from that stone is kind of where we're at. Like it used to be that people would argue over like, oh, we made $1 or things. Now it's like they're arguing over transactions time periods where it's a quarter of a cent. And when they do that at scale, that's how they end up making a lot of the money. But that's kind of ruined a lot of the experiences that we used to remember when we grew up from a long time ago, I guess. But some of the things that have happened, so I'm going to pick on ad tech because I think it's one of the core reasons why the internet has become so awful as an experience. Like just being able to get the Eventbrite page up and running. When I first created the account, I had to solve the Are You Not a Robot challenge. I hit the end of the road and apparently didn't pass. So either I'm stuck in the matrix and you're all a hallucination, or there's still something fundamentally broken. What allowed me to continue to create my account was to enable advertisements to be delivered on my laptop. So reducing my privacy focus, giving up more information about myself just for going to a web page allowed me to create an account on that system. And then subsequently, even as recent, like it's just an irritation for me. If you try to use like Pi-hole or ad blockers or things like that, anyone ever see the end of the road of a CAPTCHA challenge? Yeah? Is it because you're using like privacy software and trying to be mindful of your own? Like the ad tech infrastructure now represents a one-on-one tooling and tradecraft function as malware. They do code obfuscation. They scrape all the data off of your machine. It's just, I guess they're doing it with your consent, so it's not illegal or dubious or whatever. But at any rate, the ad tech seems to have ruined some of our experiences on the internet, but we're also culpable in it as well, because how this slippery slope started was with the mass introduction of technology for free. So things like free email being hosted and provided to you, free websites, like no longer having to learn how to write HTML code or anything else along those lines in order to get your message out there. Those platforms in social media and whatnot started making sharing content about yourself a whole lot more easy. And that's attractive and that's easier. That brings more people to the table. But the trade-off is that we had to give up a lot of information about ourselves. So we're partially to blame for the growth of the ad tech industry, but there are things that we could possibly do in order to start taking control of that sort of brokenness back. But it's getting crazier. Like, what was it, 2 months ago that Logitech introduced a subscription for your mouse? Like, I bought a mouse. I don't need to pay a monthly fee to use my mouse. That's like a ridiculous frickin', yeah, right? I mean, I'm old enough to know that when you needed to like build a mouse, you had to hard boil an egg first. And if you didn't do that, you weren't going to have a functional mouse. So thank you. I thought that was clever. But the idea of everything now is being monetized about your usage of the internet. It's no longer free for you to use. You now have to pay to use these things and also pay to give up your privacy and pay to give up access to your information. It's no longer, it's less of a choice, is how it at least feels to me. So I don't know what our actual solution for this is. I'm just angry at it right now, and I'm going through the 7 stages of grief. But then Player 3 entered the game fairly recently, earlier this year, and it's the whole AI, LLM sort of construct of it. It is the tail of the tiger that people don't really fully understand what it is, what to do with it. That, personal opinion, a lot of it's snake oil and broken math. But the other side of it, from a policy and procedure side, like on the radio yesterday, one of the conversations that they were promoting that they were going to have is where is the line between freedom of speech versus censorship when it comes to identifying false information that AI is promoting? I don't know. If AI is promoting false information, those aren't issues. Just remove the false information. It's not AI should not have the right to vote. What do you mean we have to be concerned about like AI's opinion in the matter on this? If AI is responsible for telling you to eat a rock a day, that's a problem with whomever is promoting that particular message, and not anything further than that. To be that 1 out of 10 dentists, that is AI, and people are more paying attention to that 1 out of 10 dentists and the particular behaviors about various things to keep alive about yourself. But then it gets into the aspect now of, y'all all remember what the Turing test is. Prove that it's, the thing on the other end is a human or a machine. The reverse Turing tests are some of the things that are happening now, where we're having to really prove that we are human, and we fail the test of being human because of these new policies without actually or these new technologies without actual functional policies around them. It's just being rushed and shoved while they're trying to figure out how to monetize it and how to scale it and monetize it. And now we have another power plant coming online and now monetize it. Now we need to start getting more water out of the ground from our natural wells. Oh, we have a water crisis, but we need to monetize it more. So where does this end? And I just feel like we are feeling a technological death spiral right now, and it all wraps back up towards ad tech in some particular way, or a broader envelope of a function. So that's my rant, something I kind of want you to think about for a moment. Don't forget to vote if you're able to, and more or less just please have fun, have questions, queries, posers. You know how to get us. I forgot I had this slide. It's, we are living in a bit of a cyber dystopia when it comes to a lot of the maddening technology that's being pushed out there right now. In our backyard, we recently had some wild mushrooms, puffballs show up. And I was all giddy. It's like, ooh, I get to have puffballs. What AI model should I use to see if this is poisonous or not? And Beth, what was your response? Wait, no, yeah, everyone lost it after don't. Yeah, I don't need to go to the hospital before running a conference. But anyways, yeah, if you don't believe that we're in some sort of cyber dystopia right now, it's kind of best time to start believing that we're in one before it gets even worse, because it just feels wrong. I'm tired of the way that we are being treated by these companies and our use and utilization of it. It's one thing to start having streaming services nickel and diming and increasing their fees to the point now where once upon a time it was cheaper to cut the cord and then use streaming services, and now the inverse seems to be true. So it's like the market changes, and that's fine, but we just have to be a little bit more cautious and aware of where things go. So final closing real quick. Thank you all the speakers for coming out, putting in time for the call for papers. The Arcadia University, y'all are awesome. Thank you for the space and support and security functions. Lisa Stevens is our primary point of contact. She's been really awesome and helpful in trying to work out the space and venue with us. Staff, can't do this without you. I will give you sweaty hugs tomorrow, don't worry about it. The recruiters who are here, thank y'all for spending some time and coming out, working with the students, and I don't want to say opening up a particular set of vulnerability about yourself, but doing recruitment and talking to people who just have no idea whatnot it's intense. So thank y'all for being able to come out and do all that sort of stuff. Attendees, more importantly, we're sold out, thank y'all. Our sponsors, again, thanks to them, SEPTA, Mike and Dave. Thank you all for resurrecting the sign. And more importantly, we got our leg up from PumpCon, which is one of the oldest hacking conferences. It's based out of Philly. So at the end of the month this year, we weren't able to buddy up. Last year, we buddied up with PumpCon. It was this, and then we just slid right over there. We weren't able to do that this year due to just availability of the space and the headcount that we needed. So if you're not familiar with PumpCon, good. You don't have to go. I'm not encouraging you to go. If you do go, that's your choice. Like you could do better things with your life. But if you decide to be hazed, you feel free. The CFP process, I believe, is open. It's just an email. It's loosey-goosey. It's in the basement of a dungeon in Philly. It's clean. It's absolutely clean. You'll figure out why it's absolutely clean when you go. It's a cute facility, and it's yeah. PumpCon has cleaned up over the years. I'll leave it at that. Once upon a time, I saw a fist fight break out in the parking lot over the OSI model. It's Philly. It's legitimately ShmooCon has the shmoo balls, PumpCon has the pump brakes. There we go. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself, anyone in a red shirt. We have info at JawnCon0x1. Discord's live and open. Please enjoy the con and don't actually follow the entire advice on this particular slide. Please follow the rules. But we're here to have a good time, and we have 10-ish minutes until the illustrious, stunning Heidi. Alrighty. And that's that.